what blockchain is this project on, first of all?
So most of the game is built off chain. It's on Unreal Engine, but we actually describe ourselves as kind of being chain agnostic because we got this patent that's going to allow us to move those NFTs that you find inside the game onto a variety of other different types of chains like ETH, Sol, and Tron, Polygon, so on and so forth. So it gives us quite a bit of flexibility, and users can kind of appeal to what they like about it.
So how long has it been in development for?
It's kind of like asking how old the universe is. It really depends on what you want to go back to. I
Yeah,
think by the initial idea inception, it's about 3 years, but the
right.
first day of the Slack channel, I think, is about 2.5 years.
So you mentioned a marketplace a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Is that already in play, or is that just an aim or goal of the game?
No, that marketplace is already up and running, and we've had thousands, tens of thousands of transactions on it already. Basically, as soon as users were playing the game and finding NFTs, they were populating that marketplace. So it's a pretty rudimentary version right now compared to what's going to happen
Yeah.
by global launch. But
Can you give me a little bit about the tokenomics of Big Time?
so there's basically a couple fuels for our economy. The number one thing is the cosmetic NFTs that you find inside the game. We have a well-established precedent from things like Fortnite that users like to swag out their characters. And you can find those cosmetic NFTs inside of Big Time as droppable loot. And then if you like it, you can keep it. If you don't like it and want to trade it or sell it, you can put it on the marketplace. That's how it's working during EAL. During global launch, if you have space and some other NFT features, you can then take those NFTs and upgrade them, basically customize them, upgrade them to like different levels, which enable some other types of like features and customization, and then sell them again. And so that ability to like upgrade those things on your own is going to be a function of some tokens and some in-game collection stuff. Generally speaking, for people who are familiar with Web3, guilds are going to be those space owners, and the guilds are most likely going to be the ones who are the suppliers of those upgraded NFTs.
What are both of your impediments in terms of operating in the current state of the market?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a variety of ways to pretend that there's not some significant challenges out there is
Hmm.
false. It has
Hmm.
been challenging. It has been challenging for Big Time. It's been challenging for a lot of NFT projects, particularly as like people's kind of disposable income or savings is somewhat evaporated, and my heart goes out to people in Luna and those types of projects. Looking forward, so we still believe in blockchain as a technology. We still believe in blockchain as the future of gaming. And when you have something like a free to play game in the future, um, even in a somewhat like depressed economic state, free to play games are still going to go pretty far because there's literally no bucks involved if you don't want it. So I think like long term, we definitely see ourselves in a position of advantage for why people would want to come try out Big Time.
So, in your opinion, what do you think actually makes a good game that not only attracts the attention of potential players, but maintains their interest to keep playing the game, which is the whole point of it? What's one of the challenges you guys have already faced, or even give us a bit of a heads up as to look out for when we get to the stage where you guys are at right now?
Generally speaking, Big Time is trying to bring in Web 2 gamers into Web 3. We want a Web 3 game to have that mass amount of user participation that you would see in like Genshin Impact or Fortnite. How do you do that? You got to make a good game, but you also need to make it appeal to Web 2 gamers' interests. At the same time, if you want it to be a true Web 3 experience, you need Web 3 gamers to get involved. And it is very, very difficult to balance both the Web 2 and the Web 3 interests. Sometimes they're discordant with each other, and that's been challenging. Web 2 people are like, hey, I don't trust NFTs, or this gameplay isn't great. Web 3 people are like, how do I make money out of this? I care less about the gameplay and more about how to make money. And so you're basically saying, I got to make a game that is very fun and makes a lot of money for players. One thing, MetaBeast and us, can relate on is like, we're not trying to make boring games. We're trying to make fun games.
Can you give us an idea of, are there like upcoming collections that you're looking to drop, and how do you incorporate that into a game that's already being played at the moment?
So our land NFT is pretty much all out there. So it's called Space. We shot our shot on that one with our sales, and you're going to be able to find the rest of it from in-game play pretty much. The rest of the collections right now are mostly going to come from in-game play. There will be like things that you can find inside the game of different like customization and appearances and themes and stuff like that. But really, it's going to come from in-game play, and then how you customize them from there is going to be dependent on those space and guild owners. Because when they upgrade like a lower level NFT to a higher level, it burns the lower level one. So where it ends up going from there in terms of like rarity and an appearance is a lot of it is going to be driven by what players end up doing.
Yeah, so I pretty much just wanted to say I've been looking at Big Time's gameplay while we're in this space, and I'm thinking that we need to put a meta beast in their game where they could fight against it. That's one of the things I was looking at.
Yeah, when we look at where Big Time goes in like a year or 2 years from now, that's the level of partnership we want to have. If there's like themes or appearances and stuff like that, we want other projects to be able to come in. The focus for kind of the indefinite period is making sure the game launches right. You kind of need to delay to make sure you get a good product and a good game out first, because if it flops, then nobody cares, even if you have the greatest partnerships in the world lined up afterwards. But absolutely, that interoperability, or that partnership, like being able to show off meta beasts inside of your space, or heck, even having some of those meta beasts running around as enemy you got to go take down. I think it'd be super cool.
I have a little bit of cash, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking to invest in something like that. But as an investor, why should I invest into your guys' project? Everybody's got great artwork and stuff like that, and that's fine. But I'm more about utility and stuff like that, because I'm holding a lot of NFTs right now in my wallet, and I can't stake them or nothing. I can't utilize them in any way. They're just sitting there.
Okay, here's why I think you should invest in Big Time. This is going to be controversial. I think we got one of the best blockchain games out there. I think it's really fun, and I think it's a very good like entry for Web 2 gamers into Web 3. As a case in point, I don't think I had played games in 15 years before I joined Big Time. I'm not a tech guy. I wasn't really even into Web 3, but listening to Ari, Thor, and the rest of the team, I was blown away by what they were doing. And if it made sense to me, it can make sense to anybody.
I just have one more quick question for both of y'all. What is your motivation that keeps you guys driving for this project, aside from cash, obviously being the big one?
I guess my internal motivation comes from the fact that I believe in what we're doing. And when you believe in what you're doing, you get that same sort of passion that MetaBeast just said, and makes it easy to get up every day and work long hours, because it doesn't feel like work if you really truly believe in what you're doing is making it better.
So I was just wondering if Big Time and MetaBeast was wondering on maybe in the future or at some time incorporating Polygon into your guys' project at all.
We went for a similar solution to Layer 2, but we basically can move the NFTs that you find inside of our marketplace or inside of our game onto a variety of different chains. So off the bat, I think it's going to be ETH, Sol, Tron, and Polygon. And that's just based on the preferences that you have. I imagine users will move around based on chasing lower gas fees. And we went for that in part because we wanted users to not have to set up a MetaMask or wallets or anything like that unless they wanted to. We wanted the interaction of the marketplace to feel something like what a Web2 person would be familiar with.